What is up, everybody? Wes back with Auto Mafia Racing, and today we're doing something I really said I was not going to be doing probably again, but we're putting a turbo kit on a 2-valve. Had a customer bring this car in, and we are putting an On3 forward-facing turbo kit on it. You can see all the beauty and the parts here, nice and shiny. Lots of Wuhan coronavirus parts here getting ready to be put on. Are you stoked, Cody?
No.
No. Reason why, guys, because when you do this type of mods to a 2-valve, it means you gotta get into the engine bay, and they're pretty tight. They're really annoying. So we're gonna get to it. We got it all taken out, taken apart. We're gonna get the car up in the air. We're gonna start disassembly. So check it out. We're literally just gonna pull off all the intake system and all the exhaust, drain the coolant, and we're gonna go from there. So we'll keep going here, guys. Basically up top there, we got the intake pulled off. You can see up there all the intakes off, everything like that. And now back under the car, we're pulling off all of the exhaust, literally from all the way in the back. We're basically just connecting it right here, and everything in front of it is coming off, going all the way up. That way we're basically starting fresh, and then we'll just start adding the actual exhaust pieces for the turbo kit. Checking back in, as Cody says, the bolt is in the hole. That means all the bolts on that side are in the hole. It didn't sound like it was in the hole.
It is. I just got the magnet off so I can actually turn it.
Oh, all the bolts on this side are in the holes. This is for the passenger side header. I got one more left to tighten. These suck. For whatever reason, the way like 2-valves are designed, you can never get to the bolts very easily. You get like a quarter of a turn with an open-ended wrench, and that's it. And I'm talking, we use extensions upon extensions. There's just no way. And the way where this turbo kit actually works, the pipe is right in the way, so you literally can only use this. That's all you get, a 13mm open-ended Chinese Wuhan Vandium crappy wrench. But other than that, once we get those two things on, we only have the whole rest of the kit left to do. So, day 2 now. We have basically all the hot side on, you can see. Cody has to finish tightening up the driver's side because that one, yeah, they suck. You can't reach like any of them. But the rest of it, we got the hot side basically on. We'll do the wastegate and mount the turbo, and then we still have to do all the injectors and everything like that. But basically the next step is to mount the turbo while Cody is tightening all those, and then with the wastegate and stuff on, and then we'll start running that cold side. We do need to extend the O2 sensors, install a couple gauges, then obviously the rest of the exhaust and everything. So we have moved on to the part where we're changing out all the spark plugs, all the injectors. The hot side is finished, minus the turbo. We got to put on right there. Obviously got to remove this part. Right now we just took off the front bumper. Awesome. He already has a Team Z. I'm just going to call it a bash bar, but it's the lightweight bumper support. That's awesome. So that's off. So we're going to start mounting the intercooler and the cold side, the turbo, and tap the oil pan. And then this thing is one step closer. And checking back in once again, guys. Got it going. We got the pan successfully tapped. I like doing it on the side. Yeah, so we're getting the turbo clocked, and then it's getting ready to go in. This car's about to have a turboski. Well, looky there, guys. We got an intercooler. Now, it is not mounted yet. That is literally just on there for placement. It's held on with zip ties. We will put the mounts on, but this is how I always recommend people to start putting on intercoolers. Zip tie the thing into place so it has some movement so that you can figure out where everything else goes, get all your clamps on and all your clamps lined up and tightened, then put your mounts on. Because they're always gonna move a little bit. We got the turbo mounted, all firm, everything's hooked up. We're gonna do the oil feed line and the return line while Cody's putting on all the cold side clamps. And then we'll start working on the rest of it that actually goes out. We'll see where that goes. We're essentially done. We haven't put the front bumper back on yet. However, we're not going to. We're going to tune it without it on so it stays cool and everything. And we will put it on at the very end because it's only like 4 bolts anyway. So really not that hard to stick back on. But right now we're just refilling it up with oil. We got all the lines done, added some more coolant. It definitely is going to need more coolant. We're using our 8100 Ecolite by Motul. That is a 5W20, which is what these motors like. Full synthetic, really good stuff. We do stock it here so we can ship it to you, or you just come in for an oil change. But we're filling her up with that. These bottles are crazy cool. You can see you can pop them open like that, and they're really easy to pour because of that, so I really like it. But yeah, we're gonna fill it up with oil, and then we're gonna start it for the first time. Well, there you go, guys. She's purring away, burning off some smoke. So now it's just time to really let her idle, let her get up to temperature, and then we're gonna pull it on the dyno and we'll start making some test passes and we'll tune the thing and it should be fine. It should go really well. I'm actually really excited for it. So hopefully we can get about 400 horsepower out of this 2-valve 4.6 liter On3 performance turbocharged motor. You see it's still a little smoky, so we're gonna let a lot of that, see if we can get a lot of that to burn off, and we will keep on trucking. All right guys, so another check-in moment. We got the car on the dyno. The bumper is back on. We had a little bit of an issue, and no, it did not blow up. So we installed On3's remote oil filter thing, I guess you'll call it. And it basically just comes with some push fittings. Do we have them right here?
Yep, yeah, right here.
Comes with these. So there's an orb fitting, but this end is just a push on. Well, as soon as you rev it, even though these were as tight as possibly could be, they blew off. So we tried it again, they blew off again, like we lost a ton of oil. So instead of doing that again, we said screw that, and we changed it all to AN fitting. So it's dash 10 AN, vibrant stuff, good lines. Everything's on tight now. We revved it, we ran it, it doesn't leak. So we're just gonna let it cool off for a minute. We're basically had to burn off a lot of the oil that was spilled all over it. So it's gonna smoke for a while, but we're gonna let it cool off now. And then as it gets cooler, because right now it is hot and sunny, we're gonna then get it finished dyno tuned and should be ready to go by tomorrow. And I'll let you guys watch us dyno tune it so that way you guys can see how much numbers we get and how much power and torque and everything. What do you think it's gonna make, Cody? Because you're probably not gonna be here when I do it.
360 at the lowest, 400.
360, okay. So it's supposed to be 6 to 7 pounds of boost, 6 to 7 pounds of boost, according to On3 on this kit. My goal for the thing is just to not blow up and to be around 400 wheel horsepower. I know that's all the kid wants, so if we got to add a few more pounds of boost, then we might. But for right now, we're just gonna run it on strictly wastegate, so only the spring that's in the wastegate, which again should be that 6 to 7 pound spring from On3, but it's made in China, who knows. But that should be around, yeah, 350 to 400 wheel horse and probably 450 foot-pounds of torque, I would think. I mean, I would hope so.
450 wheel torque is not bad.
Turbos make a lot of torque, so again, as long as it just doesn't blow up, it looks good. We had to lose the fog lights on it because they were massively in the way, but you can see it's all pretty tucked up under there. Looks pretty good, actually. I was fairly pleased with the kit. I didn't used to like On3 kits, and I'm still not going to say that I like them, but it is much better than they used to be. I have to admit that. So that is me. Everyone knows that I really don't like them, but I got to admit this one's not as bad. So if you're going to get one, get a new turbo, get a new wastegate, get a new blow-off valve, and change all the fittings to AN fittings, and so you're not doing any push lock stuff, and then you'll probably be okay. But I mean, had a lot of good fittings on it. It fit well. Yeah, I do have to say that the fitment was fairly well. I'm not sure how you can really make it much better with fitment because there's simply just everything in the way down there. Trans lines, AC lines, everything is in the way, but
fitment overall is pretty good. I mean, things could be massaged a little better, obviously, but for a mass-produced kit like this, it's made over there with the coronavirus, I'm not gonna say that I'm disappointed in it. So I'm actually quite surprised and quite happy with it so far. So hopefully we make some good power and this kid can have some fun, because it was a lot of work putting it on, but if it rips, he's happy. That's all we care about. So let's get to ripping it. What's up, everybody? We're back. Still working on this 2-valve. We're almost done with it. Obviously, the turbo kit is installed. We have it on the dyno. It has been giving us some ECU issues. It was just doing some weird stuff. So we added a couple different grounds to the car. We actually we redid all of the vacuum lines on the car, even all the stock ones, put brand new stuff on it. That helped our idle quality a little bit. So somewhere in there was a broken hose or a leaking hose or something. So that helped. And we've actually moved on from HP tuners, because apparently HP tuners sucks terrible at the 2-valve. So we are going to be using an SET device now on the car, and we have it running a little better so far. However, our main problem is that the ECU keeps just cutting out. The RPMs go with 0, half the gauge space goes to 0, and it doesn't show anything, which is just really annoying for one, and really hard to tune for two, because I kind of need data. So in the middle of a pool, I need data besides the wideband. If I don't know the spark it has, if I don't know what the MAF reading is, let's just say even, I don't know where to adjust for fueling or spark or anything like that, because my log looks like nothing. It's like blank lines. So that's what we've been dealing with so far in this car. We tried a new ECU, looks a little bit better, but we're gonna keep going from there. I will let you guys know. At the very least, it sounds pretty dang good right now. We made a little bit of a pull. ECU broke it up. It's a bit rich, so we're gonna lean it up. Hopefully that helps. We can rev it out a little further, and then maybe actually make some real pulls and see what kind of power it makes. We just barely started hitting boost in it. It's running about 5 to 6 pounds. I believe I saw 6, but I'm 5 for sure. I know I saw. We'll probably put the camera on it so you guys can see, and then we can go back and look at it too. But yeah, so turbo 2-valve. A lot of 2-valves in the shop right now. Obviously we got this one. We just pulled the rear end out of that one and the motor. We'll tell you guys why soon. And then of course my 79 over there is a 2-valve. So I'm gonna hop back in now that we're letting the car cool for a little bit. We got all the fans on it, and we're gonna lean it up a little bit and make another hit. I'm gonna show you guys this because it's extremely annoying for me. So hopefully you can hear me and you can see this. You see how there's just dashes? Well, look at there. We're at, 14,715. The car is actually running, but we got nothing on there, and it basically hesitates. So I can start driving, and when it's fine, it cuts out, cuts spark, it goes super rich, and I get the dashes. So that's pretty much it for this. I really want to make a good pull, but customer's gonna have to take it back, figure out his ECU issue, then bring it back to us. We'll update you guys then, but unfortunately that's all we got for this one. I mean, I really want to make a good full pull, and I want to keep tuning it, but I just can't when the ECU's not gonna cooperate. So unfortunately, guys, sometimes this happens. You bring a car, it's got issues. We don't want to spend the time on it that it's gonna take, because we're gonna have to charge just way too much time. Way too much time to actually hunt it down. Wiring issues and voltage issues are insanely expensive to fix, because they just take a ton of time. And at the shop rate, that's not something that somebody in this type of a car wants to do. So he's gonna take it back and fix it. Unfortunately, that's all it's gonna be. We will get this thing back. We will get it on the dyno, and we will actually make a full pull. You guys can see it was cutting out on me, but we did manage to make 317 horsepower and 352 pounds of torque, and that wasn't even full throttle, guys. That was like second gear and trying to roll into it to get it to go smooth, and you still see it was completely dropping out on me, which is just freaking ridiculous. We're just losing power. So hopefully he gets it fixed quick, brings it back, and then we can make, 400, 450 horsepower and 500 plus foot-pounds of torque. That would be sick. I'm looking forward to it. But until next time, guys, On3 turbo kit, 2-valve, it's out.